Hello, this is Bob Cooke here again from the Manchester Institute for Psychotherapy. This is a series of videos on supervision, clinical supervision. And we've been exploring the seven-eyed model by Hawkins and Shohet and Peter Hawkins. First came out in their book, Supervision in the Helping Professions, 1989. A fabulous book. Anyway, what we're going to do is explore this model. And we're going to look at two particular parts of the model. One is to see how it's used as a grid for the supervisor and supervisee, and we're going to look at the different stages and modes in this interactive supervision process. We've done the first mode, which is about behavioural observation as a major focus of supervision. We've looked at the second stage and the major focus, which is all about contracts, treatment plans, why a therapist does what they do clinically, and how the supervisor can help them with that focus. And the last video we did was on the third stage, which was looking at the systemic process, the transference onto the therapist, and how the supervisee, by looking at the particular supervision in that focus, can help the supervisor move forward. Okay, so we're now on to stage 4. So this video, this clip, with Rory Lee Oakes again, taking the story further, is looking at the focus of mode 4, which is the counter-transference of the supervisee. In other words, that unconscious part of themselves which often gets acted out, and is very important for the supervisor to concentrate on, because it allows the supervisee particularly to explore parts of themselves which is outside their awareness, which might be hindering the therapy-client relationship. Okie dokie, so let's move on to stage 4, and I've got Rory Lee Oakes here again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great, I've really enjoyed these last 3 videos.
Yeah.
And now on to the next part, which is stage 4, and looking at your counter-transference. So tell me a little bit where we are with the story. We're on to the 5th session, I think.
Yeah. Well, the last time we spoke, we talked about kind of how angry the client was, and she's came back this time kind of deflated. They've now arrested her son. The son's now been rearrested.
I know. Gosh,
rearrested, and he's in custody. And she managed to communicate that he needs extra water and he needs medical attention.
Yeah.
So part of that is that she's she knows where he is, and I reflected that to her. So that she know that he's getting you to.
You were telling me about the last supervision session. You were telling me something very interesting, I thought, anyway, that we focused on other things. You were telling me about how angry she was. And you were also talking about how you thought that, you felt like her son at some stages. And then you said another interesting thing, which you may want to look at in this supervision, which was your fear and just hypothesizing how you are around women who express anger, and I thought we'd take that a bit further and just explore what happens. Because perhaps, you said you were, if I'm right, you remember, you said that in writing your notes up, you were just reflecting on, as a person, just in the human encounter, how you are perhaps with females that are angry, and I was just thinking about counter-transference and what might have been evoked there for you.
Well, it's kind of interesting that, being the age I am, I was always brought up to think of men and women different in terms of anger, and that, not to put too fine a point on it, but women were the kind of scented, weaker
in your
sex
history.
In my history. This isn't something I believe now. I want to be
I understand.
But historically I was brought up, and as I grew up, women I'm sure were angry, but they didn't express it.
So in your household, maybe that was the case.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have to say that my father wasn't a particularly angry man, but generally speaking, I've met a lot of angry men through my life, and in fact, quite violent people. But I've never really met any very angry women, and it kind of gave me a bit of a dissonance, really, because part of me, you know, I could feel when, you know, when someone gets angry. I don't know if it's the same with you, Bob, but with me, when someone's really angry at you, it's managing that kind of adrenaline rush, because, you know, the part of the brain's expecting the next thing you'll be rolling about fighting, you know, and having to kind of manage that with this kind of picture that I've been painted of women in my history. It was quite I had to kind of hold both of those. Yeah.
And how do you think you got on in the session?
I think I did very well.
Oh, good.
If I say so myself. I think that I knew immediately she wasn't angry at me. That helped a lot. She was angry at her son, and I was just the person she felt safe enough to express it. So very quickly I realised that actually she was, most of the time when she was speaking to me, she was literally looking over my shoulder as if someone stood behind me.
So I know you're pretty astute, and it's really good to hear that you were able to hold those two polarities. Yes. Now say, just for example, if you weren't being so good at holding those two polarities, what might have been the danger? I think the danger is that I may have run off. Like the sun?
Like the sun. If it had been a man, the danger would have been that it could have escalated. It wouldn't have done, because I would have come to the same point.
But as a woman.
But as a woman, I think I would have run off.
So what could have happened is the evoking of this, you know, what could have been evoked.
Yes.
Is an early historical process.
Absolutely.
Then, what might have happened for both of you, of course, is there might have been I suspect, a recreation of history somehow.
I think so. I think that I think it could have fallen into two distinct camps, Bob. One would have been women aren't supposed to be like this, as I reached into my history, and also about the only way to deal with this is to avoid it.
So
to run off, and to withdraw.
Yeah. So in fact, I know that you're, as I said before here, that you a reflective practitioner, so you were able to hold those polarities.
Yeah.
So you did something different by the sounds of it.
Yes.
Sounds like you stayed in the room and were able to reflect back to her the impact of her on you. Is that right?
I didn't initially. I worked with the theme of I can see you really angry at your son. I wanted part of my work with her to let her know that I knew how angry she was with son, and in that let her know that she wasn't angry with me.
Right, so you did something very different from what I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
It often happens to supervisors and supervisees alike anyway, and so when a supervisee sometimes comes to my practice and we're in mode 4,
yes,
they're bringing things outside their awareness where they actually play out a process which gets them enmeshed often with their clients, because their clients are evoking fragmented, cut off parts of themselves. And my job has always been to help them be aware of that. So it's nice to talk to you in the sense that you were able to hold those polarities.
Well, I'd like to think I did. You know, I'd like to think I did. I'm sure that initially there may have been some leakage in terms of as I had to kind of settle that kind of process in me. But I think it helped me, if I'm honest, Bob, by saying I can see how angry you are with your son, because by that I was taking away, I was diffusing the anger, wasn't I? I was letting it go round me, and
you separated it out as well.
Yeah.
And so it was a good way of not getting caught up in the counter-transference.
Yeah.
Okay, well thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.